What happens if you mistake a Sencha for a Shengpu? You don't think it can happen? Well, maybe it should. Hi guys, this is Gabriele from nannuoshan, where we share the pleasure of drinking and discovering genuine farm tea. If you're new here in our channel and you're also looking to expand your tea knowledge and brewing skills, make sure to click on the subscribe button and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoy watching the video. Today we're going to do another tea experiment, and how many times it happened to you? You get this really shampoo thirsty, you go out on your shelf, you take your shampoo, you brew it, and you realize it is a Sencha, a Japanese Sencha. I'm sure it ever happened to you because the two teas are fairly different actually, but this is the point, and this is the experiment I came up with last night, and I thought tomorrow I want to try this out. So let's see what happens. So basically, you know that when you do tea experiment, for me at least, there are two reasons why I want to do tea experiment. One is to improve my knowledge, and if you want, my brewing skills. That is what we do in every video anyway. So for example, I'm not sure about which water I should use, I do an experiment. Shall I go for an Ishin teapot or a Gai one? Let's find it out. I make a comparison between the two. But some other times is more about look outside of the box, trying to do things in a different way, different in what we are used to and do every day. And so I thought, let's bring that to the extreme and do a crass, really an incredible experiment if you want. I will basically brew a Sencha like I would brew a Sencha, and also like I would brew a Sheng Pu'er, and the other way around. I have also here two Pu'er. One will be brewed like a Sencha and the other one will be brewed like a Sheng Pu'er. I will do all four at the same time, and I want to find out what comes out. So as said, I have here my one of my favorite Sheng Pu'er is a Bing Dao from 2013. Is this cake here? Here you go. And I have also a Sencha. It's just a Sencha that I had here at home. It has been here for a while actually. And here I will put 3 grams of leaves. We say that that's Pu'er, and we will brew it as a Sencha. And here we have also 3 grams of Sencha. Here we go. That I put in the tea. But these two tea will be brewed exactly in the same time, in the same way, and you are asking yourself maybe in which way are you going to brew it? Well, the way I would brew my Sencha. And here I have 6 grams of the same Pu'er, the Bing Dao. So 3 grams, 6 grams is, I measured it before, is the same amount of water in the gallon in the teapot, is 125 milliliters. And here I have 6 grams of Sencha. All right. So I have also 2 kettles. In one I have water at 70 degrees, in the other one I have water at 100 degrees. I will brew the Sencha at 70 degrees for a fairly long time, and also the Pu'er. And I will brew the Pu'er with boiling water, with very high water temperature, and just for a short time, except maybe for the first rinse and the first brew. So let's get started. And what do? I think I'll start quickly with the Sencha here. So it's a bit tricky. I have a timer. Let's use the timer. All right. What's happening? Good. Okay, here we go. So we have my 125 milliliters of water. And I put the other one in here. Same story, same amount of water. I checked that out before. All right. And then I will brew the Pu'er, but I will do later because the Pu'er is very quick, so I don't want to mess up things. And here we have just another 30 seconds to go. That's the way I like to brew Sencha, 70, maximum 80 degrees. And I do usually first steep for, about a minute, a good minute for sure. And then I will switch the Pu'er. So another few seconds. I put 3 grams of leaves For 125 millimeter, not much. I could have put a little bit more if you want, but usually I tend to have less water and steep it for a longer time. That's the way I like it. That's the way I want to try it out. You can do this experiment with whichever tea you want, for sure. And brew them in the way that you really like to brew them, right? So try yourself to try with some tea that is really different from each other. Oh, look how pale the color is. It is the Pu'er. And here I go with the Sencha. All right, very good. So now I take my water here, which is very hot, and I do first maybe a quick rinse. I even rinse the Sencha, which I usually never do, just because I'm pretending it is a Sheng Pu'er. All right. There we go. So, you know, I would never really brew a Pu'er like this, and for sure not a Sencha with boiling water. But the point is exactly that. And I didn't try this experiment before. Actually, I just had the Sencha in the morning, but when I got up, and I got it even before breakfast because I was still full from yesterday evening. And I just felt like first having a tea. And in fact, I got quite some appetite from the Sencha, and then I had breakfast. All right, so now let's do a quick brew with the Sencha. I don't have a filter here, I forgot taking it, so I'm trying to keep the guy one as little as possible open so that I don't lose much leaves. Let's see that. It's actually darker, yeah. Although it has been steeping for just a few seconds. Of course, it's double the quantity of leaves and also very hot temperature. Oh, here we go. And now the Pu'er. I'm actually smelling the Sencha, which is very aromatic, very rich, especially from this side, actually. And I really suggest you to do this type of experiment, to look out of the box, try things that you would not usually do, that people don't do. Yeah, you know, no Pu'er lover would say steep Pu'er at 70 degrees for 1 minute and just put in 3 grams of leaves in it. I do a bit longer first steep, not very long, maybe 10-15 seconds, just because the leaves have to open, and then I will be much faster. So let's compare the color now. Here we have the two Sencha, the Pu'er Sencha, the Sencha Sencha. Wow, they are fairly different in color. Wow, this is really, really thick. And here we have the Pu'er, again, a very, very, very light brew and the typical color you would expect from a Pu'er. So while this is cooling down a little bit, because I always prefer to avoid drinking really tea at boiling water temperature at 100 degrees centigrade, I will maybe start on this side. So let's see, I will start with the Pu'er because I expect a lighter taste. Not much smell. I was very careful because I'm used to have a Pu'er that is really hot. It's actually not hot. There is not really much of a taste. We don't have to forget that we are pretending it is a Sencha, and so I really even waited a bit longer for the leaves to open as you would do for Pu'er. It was a pressed Pu'er. I tried to open up the leaf, but still they are very compressed. It's not that it's unpleasant, it's very light, I would say very refreshing, and it reminds me how it would probably a cold brew taste. I like the smell. Cooked greens, spinach, but light, yeah. Wow, I brew it better now than this morning. This morning I put a bit more leaves and I steep it for exactly 1 minute. Today I went for a bit longer and less leaves. I really like this first tip. It's not bitter, and it has a kind of perfume in it. It's very aromatic. Nice. And now we go with this one. So here I expect this be fairly strong. So I will start with the lighter one again. Oh, very nice smell. Wow, licorice. I never smelled that before. I smell licorice. Interesting. It is 7 years old, not that old. Gushum. Even this one, I find it light. And I said I have 6 grams of leaves. They're not that little. Look. Probably after the Sencha that is light, but it has this pungent aroma that is very present. And now let's go for, wow, the thick thing here. And I'll put, you know what? I'll put quickly these again on the kettle. All right. So that's now boiling again. And let's go for this Sencha here. That surprised me. You know what? This Pu'er, I wouldn't really go for it. Very light. It's not bad, but I mean, it's not what you really would expect from a tea, too light. This Sencha was really good. This Pu'er, I would have liked a tiny bit more strength, but of course it's fine. It's the first brew. It's always lighter, the brew at first. And here I was expecting much more bitterness and a harsher, rough taste. It is bitter with a tiny bit of astringency, but tiny bit on the palate, and it's not bad. Honestly, I'm really surprised. So I'll try some. I'll try it again quickly. I cannot keep on drinking here. I would like to try for you also one more steeping. I'll try that. That's really a Sencha. That's interesting. That's a blend. Soup is the first thing I thought. And I have to tell, I cannot be right back. I cannot even recognize in the crazy blend. I cannot even recognize if it was Sencha or Pu'er inside. It was like something simply weird. Probably I wouldn't even say it is tea. All right, so we will do now the Sencha. What I suggest is after we have done a first brewing with 1 minute, the second one much shorter, 30 seconds, the half. Because also here, Sencha leaves are fairly tightly rolled, and then they open up. They definitely have opened up a lot here, and therefore you don't want to brew for very long. Otherwise, you get definitely a taste that is closer to that one. What you want actually, my brew for Sencha, I want to try to keep them on a constant pace, kind of, yeah, because it's that equilibrium, that balance that you want to have between savory but not too bitter, that you want to keep. It's not like Pu'er that you can play a little bit more with the taste. So I have now 73 degrees. I think that's fine. So let's go for it. And we say just 30 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, go. And again here. So 30 seconds is much faster. Another few seconds, and then we go. And then the pour we do really just a rinse. And I like to brew out of same cups for the experiment, so that's why I even here, since I'm alone, I even not using the cups. I'm just drinking out of a glass, and that's fine because also the way the cups is shaped and the temperature that it has, if it is different material, it can be a different temperature. The type of feeling you have on the mouth can get you a different taste a bit. So quick rinse, we say, wow, so much leaves of Sencha inside here. Quick rinse. Gabriele, try to keep the guy one as close as possible. It's fluorescent. It's like, probably if I turn off the light, I would see it still in the night. It's amazing, this tea is really like radioactive. And here we have the pour, also fairly good amount of leaves. I really suggest you to do this type of experiment. I'm learning a lot here. I would have bet differently, for sure. And that's also the point. When you do the experiment, try to think first what to expect and see if everything met your expectation. If not, then it probably was really worth it to do that experiment, even though if of course then you keep your pour brewing, your Sencha brewing, but still you have learned something out of it. And maybe next time you get some guests and they ask you, that's too bitter, or that, can you brew it in that way? Then you have a feeling of how to reach that. So shall we proceed the same way? Also very pale, you see, the pour. I think it is slightly darker. I have to say we are here at the sunset right now, so the sun is going down, everything is getting a bit darker. It has more taste, a bit of honey now. I like it, yeah. I like it in a big cup. If it would be a tiny cup, wouldn't be enough concentrate, but in a large cup, it's a very nice brew. Something we don't really do, right? The brewing, for example, pour in a Western teapot, doing just a single brew, but actually it renders quite well. And I remember a tea master of Danzong, he was saying, you know, also your method, speaking about the European in that case, is good. You don't have to go for Gongfu all the time. Try. And he made his tea, the some Danzong, the way we actually used to drink in a large pot, and tastes good. Why not? Why not? Hey guys, I'm good. I'm steeping this Sencha really good today. Usually I steep it always better when the camera is off and I can concentrate on the tea, but I'm really happy with this one here. Pu'er Sencha. I didn't compare the color. Well, much closer to each other than they were before, isn't it? And I have less leaves here, so hold on. Sorry, less water. Hey, I like this. I like it even better now. And this is not a special grade Sencha. You know, Sencha comes in a very wide range of grades, and this is, I think, even 3 years old, from 2017. I kept in the fridge though, since I've got it, so it was in a can in a fridge. But still, you wouldn't expect, you know, that the perfect taste, and it renders so good with like this flash brewing at 100 degrees. Yeah. And I mean, I would really tell if it is bitter. It's not. The first steeping was a bit of bitterness in here, and yeah, and I don't know. It's even not now. There is It's the perfect balance. This was also balanced, but here you have this additional strength, this additional savory component. And there is something sweet to it, yeah, a nice sweet aftertaste. Pour now. All right. I mean, forget about that one. I still get this licorice. I get some alcoholic taste somehow, like a port wine. Yeah, like a port wine, a little bit of port wine, or maybe actually not. I don't know if many of you guys knows these wines, but I mean, like Marsala, Zibibbo are vines actually from South Sicily. Not many people know them, but they have a very high percentage of alcohol, like 17%, something like that. Very strong, great with Cantucci. First of all, I will drink more tea in a high cup. If I am alone, you know, I have my standard Chow set here, where you have your mini gaiwan, your cup, and you go from one to the other. It's also good, and I tend to brew really a lot of lips in it, but you can do the same with the larger gaiwan, like I'm doing here, having a larger cup. And actually I should take them out. I have some nice colorful Chinese large cups that come in different colors, so you can really also match the tea. And somehow I have a complete different feeling. I have to say, in this tea experiment, I learned certainly something about, mixing up teas and brewing tea in different ways, but I should be doing more tea in a tall cup. So, summarizing, so my favorite remained this one from all, just because, I'm more of a Pu'er person than a Sencha, although this morning actually I was up for Sencha, and this is definitely a no-go for me. It's okay maybe for someone that want very in the morning a very light brew. Why not Pu'er? Let's go for it. In summer, let's go for it, but otherwise not my thing. This is a classic, as I would do a Sencha, but in the future I will probably go more for flash brewing like this one here. And this one remain, of course, a great way of steeping Pu'er, and I would say the learning here is the tall cup. So those are my conclusions. Try yourself. If you have a middle-aged Sheng Pu'er and a Sencha, please do so that you can also tell me your opinion about that. Otherwise, go for different tea, and let's see if we can learn something looking out of the box. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you guys, keep on brewing tea, and I will see you on the next video next week.